Adolfo González is the quintessential American dream story. Adolfo is originally from the rural Mexican village of San Andres Yaa, where only the indigenous language Zapoteco is spoken. In between working to help his impoverished family, Adolfo learned Spanish. At age 26, he crossed over to the United States in order to support his widowed mother and family back in Mexico. Undocumented in the United States for years, Adolfo toiled in the fields of California, picking celery for more than 18 years. But in that time, he never gave up on his education. He learned English, gained his general equivalency diploma, and graduated from California State University, Monterey Bay, in May of this year with a bachelor's degree in Spanish. Adolfo joins me today to discuss his journey from poverty to a higher education and the American dream and his plans for the future. Adolfo, welcome. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, so you are currently now in Salinas, California. You're married. You have 2 grown daughters, grandchildren, but you didn't start off there. Tell me where you started off in life.
I'm originally from Oaxaca, Mexico. I was born in an indigenous community. It's called San Andres Yaa, where an indigenous language is spoken. It's called Zapoteco. It's like 3,000 words, and that's it. It's a small language.
But when you grew up, you didn't speak Spanish.
Correct. When I grew up, my primary language was Zapoteco. Later on, I learned Spanish when I moved to Oaxaca City when I was 8 years old, because my mom told me you have to go to the city in order to get an education, to learn Spanish. I started only second grade in my hometown, because there were no the whole elementary school in San Andres.
When you went to live in Oaxaca, which is a bigger city, you didn't speak Spanish, you were a kid, you had to work. How far in education did you get there?
I started 3rd and 4th grade, and then after 2 years, my mom told my father that I was so young to live alone and work and study, so they took me back to my hometown. Luckily, at this time, we had a full elementary school that consists of the 6 years. Once I got in my hometown again, I finished my elementary school in my hometown, San Andres.
At what age did you come to America?
After I finished my elementary school in my hometown, I stayed in my town for like 4 years, and then I had the opportunity to go back again to Oaxaca City and study. The middle school is called Internado. It was a school that the government provided. I had a lot of trouble learning Spanish, and actually this school was focusing in learning Spanish.
Right.
In order to go back to our community and help people to learn.
They were actually teaching you Spanish as a second language.
Exactly.
Were you able to be conversational in Spanish at that point?
Yes. At that time, I was able to talk Spanish, not fluently, but almost. I went back to my community and worked for 1 year, helping to my community, teaching
Spanish.
them
How old were you
Spanish.
How old were you at this point?
Like 19 years old.
What made you come to America?
Once I realized that the money that I made to support my family as a teacher, it was very, very low. And by that time, my father died, and I decided that I need to do something different in order to get more money.
How did you come to America?
Once I took the decision to come to the United States, like many people do, first I stopped in San Quintin, Ensenada, and I worked a whole season picking tomato in Ensenada. After that, in 1986, I came to San Diego, and I paid just $20 to the coyote.
What did you do in California when you got here?
I worked in the field picking strawberry for a whole season. After that, in 1987, I moved to Salinas, California, where I live current time.
And at some point, you met your wife.
I got married in 1991. Then in 1992, in May, we had the first baby, Marie. In 1996, my second daughter, Blanca.
How did you ultimately become legal in America? What process did you go through?
At the beginning, it was not my intention to marry in order to get a legal status, because my feeling was to go back with my family.
Right.
But once we had the first baby, my wife suggested me to apply.
You got it through your wife?
Yes.
You paid a penalty
Yes.
fee. Right.
Right.
Because the penalty fee came about 93 or 94. So you must have paid the penalty fee. Exactly. Okay. So, and that's how you got your green card, and then ultimately you became a citizen. How long did you work in the fields?
I work in the field, basically harvesting celery for about 18 years.
Right. Why did you decide that you wanted to go back to school, and what were you trying to accomplish?
It was about 1995, 1996 when I decided to do something different, and also because the money, it was not enough for my family. So I took the decision to learn English, and I enrolled at Salinas Adult School. It's a free school in Salinas. We don't have to pay anything.
Right.
Just go to school and learn English.
And you did this in between the seasonal picking of the celery, correct?
Correct. When my seasonal jobs end up in December, I took advantage like 2 months and go to learn English in Salinas School.
How long did it take you to learn English?
I would say it took long time. I went to school only like 2-3 months on my vacation.
And then you eventually said, I'm going to go get a GED.
Once I enrolled at Salinas Adult School, I started learning English. At the same time, I took general classes.
I see.
Finally, I got my GED diploma and my basic English certificate in 2003.
So it took you 8 years.
Exactly.
To get basically the equivalent of a high school diploma. You had to take a test to pass. How did you motivate yourself that I'm going to do this, I'm going to get my GED?
My family, and as I told you, the money. Once I realized that I have to learn English in order to get a better job, so that was my motivation. Every time that I have trouble with the English, that inspired me to double my effort to learn English.
When you were going to get your GED, your children who were born in 91 and 93, they were going to school too. Daddy's studying, your children, everyone was studying all together?
Yes. Once I learned a few English vocabulary, I was able to help my daughter. When I got my diploma, I got another job as a driver truck.
What made you want to continue to go to college?
Professor in Salinas Adult School and my daughter and my family suggest me to continue my education. So I enrolled at Harner College. It's a community college that we have in Salinas, and I enrolled in this college in 2003. Harner College offer English classes too. So I continued learning, improving my English.
When did you take these classes? Because you now had a full-time job driving a truck and delivering food.
The English classes in Salinas Adult School was at night. Unfortunately, I dropped out my classes because somebody has to provide for the family, and I worked for full time. In 2015, I went back to Harner College again to get my associate degree. I got my associate degree in 2017. It took me 2 years.
And have you been in the same job all of these years, delivering food and truck, or did you switch jobs?
To have time to go to Harner College, I looked for another job. So I got a job in a car wash Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in order to have the whole week free for studying.
You recently graduated with your bachelor's degree, correct, in Spanish?
Exactly. I graduated with academic honor. I decided to get my bachelor degree in Spanish because something that I noticed is in my community, my people, they don't want to speak Spanish anymore, including my daughter. And I started formally Spanish.
How old are you today when you graduated?
58.
It took you 25 years to go from a man who had no education, picking celery seasonally in San Diego, to you're a U.S. citizen, you have a bachelor's degree, you have an associate's degree. How has this changed the quality of your life?
Now I have an offer to work as a Spanish teacher.
Wow, it's amazing. You think back and you're like, wow, I can't believe, how this all worked out.
At this point, I think the education that I get will provide economic stability for my family, because this was my goal and still my goal since I came to the United States. I feel like I achieved the American dream for me at this time.
You're going back for a master's degree, is that correct?
Correct. After I passed my CBS test, I'm looking for everything that I need to in order to apply for master's degree.
You really are. When somebody says, the American dream, you come here as an immigrant, you work hard, and you become a success. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. What do you feel when Donald Trump calls Mexican immigrants rapists, criminals, and tells them to get out of our country, we don't need you here?
When I hear comments from our government or any people against immigrants people, sometimes it's bothers me, because we come to the United States to work hard, trying to help our family that we live in Mexico and the family that we have in the United States.
I applaud you on the self-motivation to do it. It's very, very difficult. What do you say to somebody, because there's a lot of people watching our show that maybe don't have a high school diploma, and maybe they're in their 30s or 40s. What do you say to somebody who says, I can't go back to school, I can't learn, I'll never learn as an adult?
I would tell them that never is too late to get our dreams.
Adolfo González, it's an amazing job.
Thank you for having me with you, and I would like to take this minute to encourage everybody to stay focused in school, because I always say, if I can do it at my age 58, I think everybody can do it, and I recommend anybody, don't give up, stay focused.
Thank you very much again, Adolfo. I appreciate it, and good luck to you in your further endeavors as a teacher and your master's degree. You're an inspiration to us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much again.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.